In the year 2157, humanity stood on the precipice of a new era. The discovery of an ancient alien artifact buried deep within the Martian surface would forever alter the course of human history. Dr. Elara Chen, a brilliant xenoarchaeologist, carefully brushed away the red Martian dust from the gleaming surface of the object. Her heart raced as she realized the magnitude of what lay before her. "This is it," she whispered, her voice barely audible through her suit's communicator. "This is what we've been searching for." The artifact, a sleek metallic sphere approximately 1 meter in diameter, pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Strange symbols etched into its surface seemed to shift and change as Elara examined them. Little did she know that this discovery would catapult humanity into a vast and complex galactic community. As news of the artifact spread, Earth's governments scrambled to understand its significance. The United Earth Council, a coalition of nations formed in response to the increasing challenges of space exploration, convened an emergency session. Dr. Chen was called to present her findings. "Ladies and gentlemen," Elara began, her voice steady despite her nervousness. "What we have discovered on Mars is nothing short of revolutionary. This artifact is not only proof of extraterrestrial intelligence, but also appears to be a form of communication device." The council chamber erupted in murmurs and exclamations. Admiral Jackson Lee, a grizzled veteran of the Mars Wars and head of Earth's combined space forces, leaned forward. "Are you saying this thing can contact aliens, Dr. Chen?" Elara nodded. "That's exactly what I'm saying, Admiral. And what's more, I believe it already has." As if on cue, the lights in the chamber flickered. A holographic projection materialized in the center of the room, revealing a being unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Its form was vaguely humanoid, but its skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, and its eyes held a depth of wisdom that seemed almost unfathomable. "Greetings, people of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating with a melodic quality. "I am Zephyr, emissary of the Galactic Alliance. We have long awaited your awakening." The room fell into stunned silence. Admiral Lee was the first to recover. "Awakening? What do you mean by that?" Zephyr's expression shifted to something akin to a smile. "Your discovery of the beacon on Mars was the final test. You have proven yourselves ready to join the greater galactic community." Over the next few hours, Zephyr explained the nature of the Galactic Alliance, a coalition of advanced civilizations dedicated to peace, progress, and mutual protection. The artifact on Mars was one of many such beacons scattered throughout the galaxy, designed to attract the attention of emerging spacefaring races. As the implications of this revelation sank in, the members of the United Earth Council grappled with the sudden shift in humanity's place in the universe. Some were excited by the prospects of advanced technology and interstellar travel, while others were wary of potential threats. Dr. Chen, however, saw the bigger picture. "This is our chance," she declared, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "We've always wondered if we were alone in the universe. Now we know we're not, and we have an opportunity to learn, grow, and contribute to something greater than ourselves." Admiral Lee nodded slowly, his tactical mind already considering the possibilities. "But we need to be cautious. We don't know what kinds of dangers might be out there." Zephyr, sensing the human's apprehension, spoke again. "We understand your concerns. The galaxy can indeed be a dangerous place. That is why the Galactic Alliance exists, to provide mutual support and protection. We offer you knowledge, technology, and partnership. In return, we ask for your unique perspectives and your indomitable human spirit." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. As news of the alien contact spread, Earth's population reacted with a mix of excitement, fear, and curiosity. Governments worked tirelessly to maintain order while simultaneously preparing for a new age of interstellar relations. Dr. Chen found herself at the forefront of these preparations. Working closely with Zephyr and a team of Earth's best scientists, she began the monumental task of adapting alien technology for human use. The learning curve was steep, but Chen's insatiable curiosity and quick mind allowed her to make remarkable progress. Meanwhile, Admiral Lee oversaw the integration of Earth's various space programs into a unified Earth Space Force. He knew that while the Galactic Alliance offered protection, humanity would need to be able to defend itself. "We can't rely entirely on our new allies," Lee explained during a briefing with his top officers. "We need to be prepared for anything. Our strength has always been in our adaptability and determination. We'll need those qualities now more than ever." As Earth prepared to take its place among the stars, challenges arose. Not everyone was convinced that joining the Galactic Alliance was in humanity's best interest. A movement known as Earth First gained traction, advocating for isolation and independence. Protests erupted in major cities around the world. "We don't need alien overlords," became a common chant among the demonstrators. The United Earth Council found itself walking a tightrope, trying to balance the incredible opportunities offered by the Alliance with the fears and concerns of its own people. It was during this tumultuous time that humanity faced its first true test as a potential member of the galactic community. A distress signal was detected coming from a nearby star system. The Zephyr's people had a research outpost there that had gone silent. "This is our chance to prove ourselves," Dr. Chen argued in an emergency council meeting. "We can show the Alliance that we're not just takers, but that we can contribute as well." Admiral Lee agreed. "It's also an opportunity to test our new hybrid ships in a real-world scenario. I say we volunteer for this mission." The decision was made. Earth would send a small fleet, led by the newly christened ESS Horizon, to investigate the distress signal and offer assistance if needed. The ship, a marvel of human engineering enhanced by Zephyrine technology, represented the best of both worlds. As the Horizon prepared for launch, Dr. Chen found herself assigned as the mission's chief science officer. Admiral Lee would command the operation personally. Together, they would lead humanity's first official mission as prospective members of the Galactic Alliance. Standing on the bridge of the Horizon, Ilara felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. She glanced at Admiral Lee, who stood stoically at the helm. "Are we ready for this?" she asked quietly. Lee turned to her, a hint of a smile on his weathered face. "Ready or not, Dr. Chen, this is our moment. Humanity has always risen to the challenge. We won't stop now." With that, he gave the order. The Horizon's engines flared to life, propelling the ship towards the unknown. As Earth receded in the viewscreen, Ilara realized that this was more than just a rescue mission. It was humanity's first step into a larger universe, full of wonders and dangers beyond imagination. The awakening had begun, and humanity was determined to face whatever the galaxy had in store with courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. The stars beckoned, and Earth had answered the call. 5 years had passed since humanity's first contact with the Galactic Alliance. Earth had undergone a transformation that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. The skylines of major cities now featured towering spires of crystalline alloys, while personal anti-gravity devices had revolutionized transportation. But perhaps the most significant change was in the collective psyche of humanity. They were no longer alone in the universe, and the stars were now within reach. Dr. Ilara Chen stood in her lab at the newly established Interstellar Institute of Technology, marveling at the holographic display before her. It showed the schematics for a new type of faster-than-light drive, a hybrid of human ingenuity and Zephyrine technology. "We've done it," she whispered, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "This could revolutionize interstellar travel." Her moment of triumph was interrupted by the lab's communications system. "Dr. Chen, your presence is required in the Situation Room immediately," came the urgent voice of her assistant. As Ilara hurried through the corridors, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Her suspicions were confirmed when she entered the Situation Room and saw the grim faces of Earth's leadership, including Admiral Jackson Lee. "Dr. Chen, thank you for joining us," said President Aria Vasquez, her usually calm demeanor strained. we've received troubling news from our allies in the Galactic Alliance. A holographic star map materialized in the center of the room, highlighting a region of space near the outer edges of Alliance territory. President Vasquez continued, "The Draconian Empire, a hostile faction we were warned about, has been making aggressive moves in this sector. They've already conquered 3 systems and show no signs of stopping." Admiral Lee stepped forward, his face etched with concern. "The Alliance has called for aid from all member worlds. As probationary members, we're not obligated to respond, but we must," Ilara finished for him. "We can't stand by while others fight for the peace and stability of the galaxy." The room erupted into heated debate. Some argued that Earth wasn't ready for interstellar warfare, while others insisted that this was their chance to prove themselves as worthy members of the Alliance. As the arguments raged, a new transmission cut through the chaos. The holographic form of Zephyr, the Zephyrian emissary, appeared before them. "Friends of Earth," Zephyr began, his usual melodic voice tinged with urgency, "I bring grave news. The Draconian advance is more severe than we initially believed. They possess technology that rivals our own, and their tactics are ruthless. We fear they may have discovered a way to destabilize the quantum networks that form the basis of our faster-than-light communication." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. If the quantum networks fell, the Alliance would be fractured, unable to coordinate their defenses effectively. Admiral Lee was the first to speak. "Zephyr, what can we do to help?" The Zephyrian's expression softened slightly. "Your offer of aid is appreciated, Admiral. While your military might is still developing, your species has shown remarkable adaptability and innovative thinking. We believe you may hold the key to countering the Draconian threat." All eyes turned to Dr. Chen. She took a deep breath, her mind racing with possibilities. "The FTL drive we've been developing, it doesn't rely on the quantum networks. It's based on a completely different principle. If we can adapt it for communication purposes, then we could create a backup communication system for the Alliance." President Vasquez finished, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. The next few months were a whirlwind of activity. Earth's best minds were put to work adapting the new FTL technology for communication purposes. Dr. Chen led the effort, working tirelessly alongside human and alien scientists. Meanwhile, Admiral Lee oversaw the rapid expansion of Earth's fledgling space fleet. The shipyards in orbit around Mars worked around the clock, producing vessels that combined the best of human and Alliance technology. As Earth prepared for war, the Draconian Empire continued its relentless advance. Reports trickled in of entire worlds falling silent, their populations either subjugated or worse. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see if the Alliance could stem the tide of conquest. It was during this tense period that humanity faced its greatest test yet. Nova Prime, Earth's first extrasolar colony, sent out a distress call. A Draconian battle group had entered the system, clearly intent on conquest. In the war room of the ESS Horizon, now the flagship of Earth's fleet, Admiral Lee studied the tactical display with a grim expression. "We can't let Nova Prime fall," he declared. "Not only is it strategically important, but it's also home to over 1 million colonists. We have to defend it." Dr. Chen, who had insisted on joining the mission to oversee the implementation of the new communication technology, nodded in agreement. "The colonists knew the risks when they volunteered, but they're counting on us. We can't let them down." As the Horizon and its escort fleet prepared to jump to Nova Prime, tension ran high among the crew. This would be humanity's first true test in interstellar combat. They had trained extensively, but simulations could only prepare them so much for the reality of facing an advanced alien armada. The jump to Nova Prime was smooth, a testament to the new FTL drive's efficiency. But as soon as they emerged from hyperspace, chaos erupted. The sky above Nova Prime was alive with energy weapons and missile contrails. The Draconian fleet, a terrifying array of biomechanical ships that seemed to blur the line between machine and living organism, was already engaged with the colony's meager defenses. All ships, battle formations. Admiral Lee's voice rang out over the comm. Cruisers, provide cover fire for our fighters. Destroyers, target our support ships. Horizon will engage their flagship. The battle that ensued was like nothing humanity had ever experienced. The Draconian ships moved with an unnatural grace, their weapons capable of punching through Alliance shields with terrifying ease. But the human fleet fought with a tenacity that seemed to surprise their enemies. On the bridge of the Horizon, Admiral Lee orchestrated the battle with the skill of a master tactician. Dr. Chen worked furiously at her station, coordinating with the science team to analyze the draconian technology in real time and find weaknesses. Their ships, Chen called out suddenly, her eyes wide with realization. They're not just biomechanical. They're linked into some kind of hive mind. If we can disrupt that link, Lee understood immediately. All ships, concentrate fire on these coordinates, he ordered, transmitting the data Chen had provided. The effect was immediate and dramatic. As the human fleet focused their attacks on specific points of the draconian ships, the alien vessels began to move erratically, their coordinated assault falling into disarray. But the tide of battle turned again when the draconian flagship, a massive vessel that dwarfed even the Horizon, entered the fray. Its weapons tore through two human cruisers as if they were made of paper. "We can't withstand that kind of firepower," Lee muttered, his hands gripping the command chair tightly. It was then that Dr. Chen made a decision that would change the course of the battle and perhaps the war itself. "Admiral," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos around them, "I have an idea. But it's risky, and I'll need to get on that ship." Lee looked at her as if she had gone mad. "That's suicide, Doctor." Chen shook her head. "Not if we use the prototype personal teleporter we've been developing. I can beam aboard their ship and deploy a virus into their hive mind. It should disrupt their entire fleet." For a moment, Lee was silent, weighing the risks against the potential reward. Finally, he nodded. "Do it. But you're not going alone. I'm coming with you." What followed was a mission that would become legendary in the annals of both human and Alliance history. Using experimental technology, Lee and Chen beamed aboard the draconian flagship, fighting their way through alien corridors that seemed to pulse with malevolent life. They faced horrors that defied description: draconian warriors with exoskeletons that could deflect energy weapons, and security systems that seemed to anticipate their every move. But human ingenuity and determination proved to be powerful weapons. In the heart of the ship, they found what they were looking for: a central node of the hive mind. As Lee held off waves of draconian defenders, Chen worked feverishly to upload the virus she had developed. "It's done," she shouted just as their position was about to be overrun. Lee slammed his hand down on the teleporter control, and they vanished in a shimmer of light moments before a draconian energy blast would have vaporized them. Back on the Horizon, they watched in awe as the effect rippled through the draconian fleet. Ships began to drift aimlessly, their weapons falling silent. Some even turned on each other, firing blindly in their confusion. The battle for Nova Prime was over, but the war had just begun. As the human fleet began rescue and recovery operations, Admiral Lee and Dr. Chen knew that this victory, while significant, was just the first step in a long and dangerous journey. The Draconian Empire had underestimated humanity, but they wouldn't make that mistake again. The true test of humanity's resolve and ingenuity lay ahead, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. As the Horizon set course back to Earth, carrying news of their victory and the captured draconian technology, Lee turned to Chen. "You know they'll come back, and in greater numbers." Chen nodded, her expression a mix of determination and hope. "Yes, but now we know we can fight them. More importantly, we know we can win." The crucible of war had forged a new humanity, one that was ready to stand alongside the most advanced races in the galaxy and fight for their place among the stars. The next phase of the conflict would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of the entire Galactic Alliance. The Gaffel invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace in a blaze of twisted light, their massive warships casting long shadows across the face of the moon. High Commander Zaxlath stood on the bridge of his flagship, mandibles clicking in anticipation as he surveyed the seemingly defenseless blue planet before him. Pitiful, he chittered. Not even an orbital defense grid. These humans are more primitive than we thought. He turned to his weapons officer. Begin the assault. Let's show these arrogant apes the price of defiance. Thousands of missiles streaked towards Earth, their warheads powerful enough to crack the planet's crust. Zaxlath waited for the satisfying explosions that would herald the end of yet another inferior species. They never came. Instead, a shimmering field of energy blossomed around the planet, absorbing the missiles without a trace. Zaxlath's compound eyes widened in disbelief. Impossible, he screeched. Intensify the barrage. Use the main cannons. The Gaffel fleet unleashed its full fury, pouring enough firepower into Earth to glass a dozen worlds. Yet the mysterious shield held firm, rippling with strange geometries that seemed to hurt the eye if observed too closely. Aboard the ESS Horizon, Admiral Sara Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Dr. Saito," she said into her comm, "I believe it's time to show our visitors the door." Deep within the Lunar Defense Complex, Dr. Evelyn Saito took a deep breath and placed her hand on a glowing panel. "May whatever gods exist have mercy on us all," she whispered and pressed down. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, reality itself appeared to hiccup. The space around Earth warped and twisted, as if the fabric of the universe was being stretched to its breaking point. A sound that wasn't quite a sound reverberated through every ship in the Gaffel fleet, setting teeth on edge and causing delicate instruments to shatter. "What's happening?" Zaxlath demanded, his usual composure shattered by the incomprehensible events unfolding before him. Before anyone could respond, a blinding light erupted from the Earth's surface. It wasn't a weapon in any conventional sense, but rather a fundamental restructuring of space-time itself. The light engulfed the Gaffel ships, and for a brief, terrible moment, Zaxlath felt as if he was being pulled in every direction at once, his very atoms threatening to come apart. Then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. Admiral Chen blinked spots from her eyes, staring at the now empty space where the Gaffel fleet had been moments before. "Status report," she croaked, her throat dry. "All Gaffel ships have vanished, sir," reported Lieutenant Commander Patel, his voice filled with awe. "Long-range sensors detect no trace of them within 50 light-years." Chen nodded slowly, the weight of what they'd just done settling heavily on her shoulders. "Get me Dr. Saito," she said quietly. Evelyn Saito's face appeared on the viewscreen, pale and drawn. "It worked," she said simply. "Yes," Chen agreed, "but at what cost?" The Project Singularity device had performed exactly as designed, creating a localized bubble of altered spacetime that had shunted the entire Gaffel fleet into somewhere else. Another dimension, perhaps, or simply spread across the vast emptiness between galaxies. The effect had been completely selective, leaving Earth and its solar system untouched. It was a weapon of unimaginable power, one that could effectively remove any threat to humanity with the press of a button, and now the galaxy would know of its existence. In the days that followed, Earth was abuzz with a mixture of celebration and trepidation. They had survived, triumphed even, against a vastly superior foe. But the question on everyone's minds was, what now? Admiral Chen found herself standing before the United Earth Council, tasked with explaining the implications of their victory. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice echoing through the grand chamber, "we have changed the balance of power in the galaxy overnight. The Singularity device represents a deterrent beyond anything seen before in known space. But with this power comes great responsibility." She paused, looking each council member in the eye. "We have the ability to remove any threat to our existence, yes, but we must use this power wisely, lest we become the very thing we sought to defend against." Counselor Xiang leaned forward, her brow furrowed. Are you suggesting we reveal the existence of this weapon to the galactic community? Chen nodded slowly. I am, but not as a threat, as a promise. She activated a holographic display showing the Earth surrounded by a glowing network of energy. I propose we offer our protection to any species that seeks peaceful coexistence. We can use the singularity device not just as a weapon, but as a shield for those who cannot defend themselves against the Gathals of the galaxy. The council chamber erupted in murmurs and heated discussions. It was a radical proposal, one that would thrust humanity onto the galactic stage in a way they had never anticipated. As the debate raged on, Dr. Sato approached Chen, speaking in a low voice. Do you really think this will work? That we can be the galaxy's protectors? Chen smiled wryly. I don't know, Evelyn, but I do know this. We can't go back to the way things were. We have the power to reshape the galaxy, for better or worse. It's up to us to decide which path we'll take. In the weeks and months that followed, humanity's message spread across the stars. They offered protection, knowledge, and partnership to any who would accept it. Many scoffed at first, unable to believe that such a young species could wield such power. But as more Gathal fleets mysteriously vanished when they threatened peaceful worlds, the galaxy began to take notice. Refugees from oppressed systems began to flock to Earth, bringing with them new technologies and cultures. Other powerful empires watched warily, unsure whether to view humanity as a threat or a potential ally. Earth had become a beacon in the darkness, a silent sentinel standing guard against the tyranny of the strong over the weak. It was a role they had never sought, but one they embraced with determination and hope. As Admiral Chen stood on the observation deck of humanity's first extrasolar colony, watching ships from a dozen alien species dock at the bustling spaceport, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. They had not only survived first contact, they had thrived, forging a new path for themselves and for countless others. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would humanity.